Hi, welcome back. Waxing on Friday. Today we're looking at a comedy album. And I pulled it out not just because it's a comedy album, but because there's something very unique about it. And we've talked about them before, way back, I think in first year of this, the Monty Python crew. And this is Monty Python's Matching Tie and Handkerchief. Comes with an insert, which you can pull out. But yeah, it's a little... Hey, what'd you expect? It's Monty Python, right? And we're talking this album's from 1973, so is it going to offend people? Yeah, that could happen. That happens a lot with our comedy albums. I mean, you've got to remember that times were different 50 years ago, and some of the sketches or some of the songs or even some of the comments may not sit well with people nowadays, so I just give you that warning ahead of time. There's some innovative, there's some great funny stuff on here, but comedy has a tendency to offend. Let's take a look. Monty Python, I suppose you're familiar with them. TV show back in the 70s. We got Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Michael Palin, Michael Jones, Terry Gilliam, and Neil Innes performing music on this album as well. Now, the album was recorded in the studio with a lot of new material they wrote just for the album, but they did include some of the stuff from the TV show. I had to write it down because there's a few things here they did add. And again, some of these are very familiar to me. I'm sure they will be to you too if you're a Python fan. The sketches were Bruce's and the Bruce's song, Pet Conversations, Cheese Shop, Dead Bishop, Boxing Tonight, and Oscar Wilde. That's just a portion of what's on here. There's a lot of new material they recorded, but I'm sure that when we get the streaming networks, they've added a lot more to it. What was unique about this album was it was my first three-sided album. Now, I mean, if you're familiar with vinyl, you know that's not the case, right? I'm just going to pull it out here so we can see. We got the vinyl album. We've got one, we've got two sides. What they did was on side two, they ran two separate tracks on there. And it just depended where your needle fell on the record, whether you were listening to side two or side three. So it could be that, I mean, a number of times it might hit, you may not even know there was a third side on there until the next time it dropped just in the right spot and it tracked in a different place all the way out on the album. Now, Joe Jackson also did this on, I think it was the Big World album. He had one that had an extra side included in on it. Now, it was unique. It was fun. It was kind of like a hidden, side of the album. But I suppose it was also economical, right? Now we're putting out one album instead of a twofer, where you'd have to have four sides. It cost a little less. But I'm thinking more in their case, that wasn't the reason they did it. I mean, it's just one of those other twisted, unusual things that you come to expect from Monty Python. So while we're checking out for that, you're not going to get the benefit of that on the streaming networks, okay? You get streaming, who's going to know that we had that special third side? Nobody. It's something that was only I guess, made for people that bought the vinyl. It was a special treat for us. So, Matching Tie and Handkerchief, Monty Python. Again, 1973. On the back of the photo I showed you, there is a lot of information there too they've included in. Now, when Neil Innes did the music with him, he did a lot of other stuff on the show, as well as some of the musicals. So, and I believe he's also involved in the Ruddles album that we looked at that Eric Idle put together when he did that takeoff on the Beatles. So, if you're familiar with the Python, you know what we're talking about, you know what to expect. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, this album was just unique because of the three sides. I wanted to kind of mention that to you because that was something that was very unusual and very unique to vinyl, that you could only do it with something like this. So there you go. That's it for today. A little comedy to kick your weekend off with. Check them out on the streaming networks. I know they're there. If you're lucky enough to pick up old albums, maybe you'll get one of these. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Till then, take care. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for stopping by.